Hi, I'm Ron with Quicklim Insulation. Today, I'm going to be showing you how to install our new Beyond Basement insulation system. So we've made a couple changes to this system. The original change that we made is to our framing members. We're no longer using metal angle studs, we're now using wood studs. The reason being is the price of steel has gone through the roof. So to keep our costs down and our prices lower for our customers, we've changed to wood studs. Now there's an added benefit to this. Lots of the time what's going to happen is you're going to have a pre-existing wall assembly you need to get rid of to install our product. And most of the time it's going to be wood studs in that wall assembly. This gives you the ability to reuse those wood studs in our system. And in turn, it's going to save you time not having to haul that lumber out the door. And it's also going to save you money not having to buy more framing members. Our system is incredibly energy efficient. And at the same time, it is an air, vapor, and radon barrier. Along with that, it's completely impervious to moisture, and it can't harbor some of the nasty stuff that propagates in exterior wall assemblies like mold and mildew. So let's get started on the install. For the first step of the system, we need to install our foam-based gasket. What this component does is it isolates the cold concrete floor from the warm stud cavity. To install the foam-based gasket, we're just going to take dabs of PL and construction adhesive on the bottom of the gasket, place it on the floor about a ½ inch away from the wall. And now we'll put our next gasket down, and we'll do this throughout the rest of the perimeter of the basement. For our next step, we need to install canned foam in behind our foam-based gasket between the gasket and the wall for every panel that we're going to put down along the floor. So we're going to run a bead of foam right behind here for about 4 feet. So that's the length of the first panel. To install our first panel, the first thing we need to do is make sure that when we come out of our corner that everything's level, it's vertically plumb. You take your panel, put it in the corner, you're level, and just make sure that it's level. So in this case, it is, it's level. But in some cases it may not be, and you may need to move your panel to make sure that it is level. Now, to install the product, we're going to hammer drill through the foam into the concrete wall, and we're going to knock in an IDP anchor right in the middle of the panel, but not in the slot. There's a slot in the middle of the panel. We're going to go right above that. So now what we need to do is cut a panel to fit between this panel and the floor joist. So I'm going to measure from the top of the panel to the bottom of the floor joist. We have 45.5 inches. So I'm going to leave a ½ inch gap at the top just so it's easy to install this panel and you're not fighting with it. And one of the benefits of the product is we actually have it scored. So you can see these slots, these are every inch. So if I want to cut off 3 inches of the panel, I'm going to go to the third slot and cut it off. So you can just use an X-Acto knife and cut that off. Pretty simple. There we go. Perfect. Now I can install it the exact same way as I did before. But what we need to make sure we do is we also have to install canned foam between each panel. So wherever foam is going to touch foam, you need to install canned foam. What this does is it bonds the two panels together, which creates your air, vapor, and radon barrier, and it also creates a structural bond between the foam. So now we can install this panel the exact same way we did the bottom panel. And as long as we match it up, we know that it's going to be level. The next step is to apply a bead of foam along the concrete wall and the foam. So it's going to go right in the corner between the foam and the concrete wall. And now we're going to install our next panels exactly the same how we did these. Cutting to height and foaming using canned foam where foam meets foam. And we can do that throughout the rest of the wall in the basement. So now that we finished our one wall, we have to start in the corner. And just like the last corner, we have to make sure that we come out and make sure that our corner is vertically plumb. Right there. So this wall isn't as plumb as the last one. I'll mark that so I know where my panel needs to line up. Sometimes there's going to be gaps and cracks in the system, especially when you're coming out of your corner to make it plumb if it's not already plumb itself. And a lot of times that'll happen in old basements and things like that. So what you're going to have to do is fill those gaps and cracks, and specifically going to be in the corner, with canned foam.